Hi guys, I'm Nu-TRix, and today we're going to talk about the model expansion of the JX-8P in Roland Cloud, Zenology. I gotta explain what this. I didn't expect to talk about Roland this week again. I've been talking about what they're doing for the last, I don't know, 3 weeks after the interview I did. But they just released this like this week, and we have to talk about it because it is, for what I understand, the next step in their global offer. So it means that this JX-8P model expansion is or will be available on your computer using the Roland Cloud, and also in certain hardware devices, because some of them can actually accept the expansion. So it is the future of what they're going to offer. It means that you're going to buy hardware, or you're going to have hardware that you already have that can actually take this. Might not be today, but it's coming, you know, if it's not yet there. So let's talk about the JX-8P rapidly, and let's actually listen to it, because you'll see it's a cool synth. So the original JX-8P, just to understand where it fits into the storyline of synthesizers, it was in '85. So a couple of years after MIDI came out, when DX7 was like the massive hit that everybody wanted to buy. The JX-8P was a mix of some digital, some analog. Mostly people call it an analog synthesizer, but it's basically two DCOs, digitally controlled oscillators, going into an analog filter and an analog envelope. The rest is analog. So the sound is mostly analog when you listen to it, but the fact that these are two DCOs, some features of analog circuitry for oscillators are not available. Example, the pulse width modulation, which is something I adore. You know, for me, you take a square wave and then you modify the pulse width, it just creates movements. But that's where Roland, like all the other companies, become creative, and they added other stuff. So I'll talk. Let's actually jump in, and but before, let's just look at how it looked. The original JX-8P looked like this. Okay, the graphic they give on the screen is mostly the same thing, so it's pretty cool. But that's not the interface that you're going to have in Zenology. And the problem that most people have with this is just we went from analog synthesizers where all the knobs are in front of you to this screen. So people were kind of going crazy, going, I can't control this. So Roland had this thing out, the PG 800. Over the years, Roland came out a different moment with different type of editor that could go in and modify a bunch of synthesizers that they had. So those who, it's interesting because it means that those who just want to buy synth for the sound and play them and do a little editing only, they don't need that. They just buy the synthesizer. And those who really want to deep down into, you know, deep into synthesis, they would have to buy this at the time. Now, today, the plugin has, of course, all of these controls inside it. So let's actually go in. For those who want to understand how you get this, is if you have Roland Cloud and you buy for the Zenology monthly, or yeah, you can actually buy a lifetime key if you want. If you don't want to buy monthly, you can just buy it once and you keep it. And this is, I have the Pro version. Roland wants me to play with it and talk about it, of course, and I like it, so I'm going to talk about it. It's just like they give me access to it so I can actually test it out, and if I find it interesting, I'm going to talk about it, and I do find it interesting. So you can buy it if you want, and to get it, you need to go into library, and you find the JX-8P model expansion, and then you can just download it. Now, there's no information about going into hardware right now. It's really just software. So I don't know how it is to work with hardware. That's what I'm saying. I'm not sure if it's yet available to be loaded into, I don't know, an MC707 or something like that. In my case, I'm going to use Zenbeats again because I like it. I'll take a new song. I'm going to close the drum, and I'm just going to load a track. The track, I'm going to go and I'm going to load Zenology, because this is part of Zenology. It's a model expansion within Zenology. That's Zenology, but the JX-8P is here because I actually went into the edit window, and you've got a list of all your patches and banks and extra, and then you've got model expansion, XM, so model expansion, and then you click on this one, and then you get the list of just this one. Because if you just click on this one, this is just the Essential Collection. These are presets, and these are different package. But I want to go back into JX-8P model expansion. So you have this one here. You have all of these. So what's cool is that those who are written in capitals, all caps, are the original sound that was in the JX-8P originally. So these are just the original sound. All the other ones are added stuff that they created to show you what it can work. And again, if you know how it works, if you like a sound, you can give 3 stars, and then it's easy to go through it after. So let's actually go in and say, I'm going to try to polysynth. It's a polysynth. You can play the original hardware, could play 6 voice polyphonic. It just sounds nice, it has a nice sound to it. And then you go, okay, it's really nice, but if I want more than just presets, because let's just try a couple of them if you want. I'm going to make you listen to some of the sound. I tweak some of it, but let's actually go into edit. And that's where you see the magic happen. You click on edit, and then you see the graphic. This is just one window. Everything's there. You've got the whole synth plus some features that they added on top of it. So what I say when they added on top of it, you have the multi-effect here that I'm not sure was part of the original one, at least maybe not in this fashion. So let's turn this off for now. And what you have is a DCO1, DCO2, the mixer of the 2 DCOs, the filter, VCA, LFO, there's one LFO, envelope 1, envelope 2. So let's actually go through it quickly so you understand how it works. DCO1, well, let's actually go in. I'm going to take the init sound, init tone. So, okay. So you have this init tone, initialized sound. Here you can change the pitch. Okay, simple. You can change the waveform, a noise, sawtooth, a pulse, and a square. Now, right away, there's a pulse and a square because you cannot move or change the width of the pulse width. That's it. It's fixed because it's a DCO, not an analog, or in this case, it's a virtual simulation of a DCO, but in the real analog synth, or you would have the possibility of changing the width of the pulse, and you have that change of this to this. Now you don't, so it's fixed. But you still have LFO, but if you change the LFO here, it's going to change the pitch, or the envelope, it's going to affect. Okay. A little bit bizarre, but let's say. I don't know why I would do this, but it's there. You can do it. Okay, so that's for the first one. And you get tuning. Okay. -12 and +12. Now DCO2, if you want to hear this one, you need to bring the volume of DCO2 up. Bring down the first one. Now this one again, you've got 16 pitch, and you get these different shapes. Same thing here, but then you have something more. Of course, you get the tuning, same thing. You get fine tuning, so this is in synth, and you have cross modulation. So that's where you're going to create that movement, that interest, that complex sound tones that you would be able to create in the square wave that change the pulse, so you could create that movement in the sound. In this case, if you want to create that, you would have to take the 2 oscillators and say, I want them to be combined in cross modulation. You hear that noisy type of sound? So they're just, in this case, they're just a little bit detuned. Now you get in sync. Just changing this is the sync mode, and then the cross modulation. Without the cross, with the cross modulation. And without it. So if you want to sync, then if you want to say, let's say LFO1. That movement is pretty cool, and this is again just using DCO2 and DCO1 with cross modulation. Now, you've got envelope here. If you take this envelope, the two envelope in the DCOs are using the first one, envelope 1, as the pitch envelope. And the mixer, you also have an envelope if you want to use it, but then you have the choice of taking an envelope 1 or 2, and then you can change. Yes, you can use this. In this case, let's say I'm going to try this. Dynamics, I'm guessing it's more about response to velocity, my guess is. And you can say I don't want to use this. Now, the third one is the cutoff frequency. And you have the envelope. And you can say envelope 1, 2, normal or inversed. Resonance. We've got high pass or low pass. This is an high pass, and as you go here, you're going to a low pass. So this must be kind of a peak. So you're kind of changing the shape of it. Okay. And you have M and S and R. What would that be? So because I don't know, I didn't own a JX-8P. I'm actually I'm the kind of person who reads. I did download the original manual. Okay, so this is two filters. You've got a low pass filter here, and you also have an high pass at the same time. So you can have, and then you cut it high, mid, low, or nothing. You've got the resonance, we know that. We've got the LFO, we got the envelope, we've got the key follow, we've got the mode of the envelope, that's clear. And that's it. So I don't know what these are for. What are these for? And that would be my only thing that I don't like about this, is there's no manual. I'm the type of person who says, okay, what is this? What exactly is this? It's iPass 1, 2, 3. It doesn't say, at least if I keep my finger on it, I would like to have a pop-up saying, this is for this. Oh, okay, fine. Resonance, cutoff, I get it. These I get it. But 3, 2, 1, 0 is like a start off. I don't know what it is. You know, dynamics, is it how dynamic it will respond, or very little dynamics, or is it how many velocity is going to affect the envelope? So I'm going to have to test it out. But sometimes you test it out and you don't have any result because the way you program everything, it's not made to do it this way. And when I read in the original, well, yes, this I can guess dynamics. But then again, dynamics here, they say this parameter is sensitivity of the key touch dynamic effects. Okay, so it's basically how it's going to respond to how much dynamic you want it. My guess is this is really dynamic. This is always the same volume. That's the kind of what I'm guessing. But then these three here, RMS. M manual, R Roland, S solo, I don't know. I don't... These are like 3 types of... I mean, this one is a lot more resonant. This is maybe it's a shorter length of movement. This is a lot more resonant, so it's a resonant filter. These are 3 ways for the filter to resonate. So maybe they had different options here. But the R is resonant, the M is less resonant, and the S shorter movement? I don't know. But I mean, they make it sound different. So if you want resonant, it'll be R, M. I don't know what these stands for, but they basically change the sound of your filter around your cutoff point. Okay. Then you get the VCA envelope. Again, you choose if you want to use the envelope 2 with movement or just an on-off switch. On and off, and that's it. So then you can use the envelope 2. Let's say you want the 1 for the pitch, the 2 for the VCF, and then the amplitude you just want to on-off. It works. It's like having 3 envelopes, and the third one being just open and close. LFO, very simple. Speed, delay time, which is cool. You can wait before it actually comes into action. See, you press once. Let's go louder here. Then I'm going to start moving. I put it at the maximum delay. How long is it? Then you hear it. Okay, so it could be really cool on pads. You start the sound and then you hold it, and then it starts to evolve into something else. So pretty cool. The envelopes are pretty simple. ADSRs, but you can actually click on the graphic itself to move it, which is really nice. You have the key follow, how much it's going to, basically, if you go higher on the pitch, the time will be shorter. You go lower in the pitch, it's going to be longer. And how much do you want this to affect or not? Off, it doesn't affect, and 3, it really affects a lot. Same thing for the envelope 2, so same thing. And then the third one, the last one is the effects. You've got different chorus effects, you have modulation, you have flanger, a lot of lo-fi, drive, amplitude, combination, pitch, a lot of things you can play. So I'm not going to go into that because these are basically available in about anything that Zenology is offering. It's always there. So you can actually go in and test in these. So let's actually listen to these into an example. So I did a song. So I'm going to open the song. I call it Smooth JX-8P because it can create these lush sounds really efficiently. That's the cool part about the JX sound. I used to go back to this here, this window when I see the mixer to say, oh, Zenology, and then open it. And then now what the way I worked at it, I close it and I just use this little arrow here to see in context what I want to do. So can I just rename this? Do it maybe here. Rename. Oh, you can. Oh, okay. So I'm going to say pad. I'm going to say JX-8P pad. Okay. Here you go. Perfect. Well, that's not the pad, but this is how you do it. Okay, perfect. So I'm going to click on this one. Listen to the sound. This is, if I open this up and I see this, this is the original low string that I tweaked a little bit, and you have this. So you have LFO on the cutoff frequency, a little bit of envelope, and key follow. We've got 2 sawtooth, no cross modulation. Second one is a little bit detuned, so you hear that wide sound. and it's just a lush sound. And then it goes into the chorus, Juno 106 chorus. It's the wide, nice, lush pad. Well, that's the sound for this one. Let's actually take the other one. I'm going to stop this one. And the other one is kind of the bass if you want. And this one uses resonance a lot, well, half of it. Cutoff is fairly low. It's mostly envelope to close. A little bit of dynamic, and I'm into the R mode, which now I'm guessing is the most resonant mode. And I could put it in solo, or in, yeah, solo, or monophonic, because... And the cool thing here is you've got this condition. You want the synth to sound like the original, like full new circuit, or old. So you see now, when it's older and the condition has degraded, the envelope will be sloppier and it will open less. So if you go there, you're going to have to change the cutoff point from the same type of sound. So I want this to be a little bit used, in the used condition type of sound. But perfect, so that's my second one. I'm going to stop that one, and I'll go to this one here. This one is square lead, so that's the lead, sorry. I'm going to not open this one, but like this. So if I play, so you have a sync mod in this one. You have and you have some LFO here, changing the pitch of a sync tone. So it will stay melodic still. DCO, the two of them, the cutoff frequency, and the envelope. So you've got this again, and you get still the chorus again. Just give that wide sound. Or you can actually, is there a delay here? There's a delay here. Let's try tape echo. Let's try. That's cool. Let's have a... So, very quick to create something crisp and nice. Keep that one. Stop this one. I'm going to take the other one here, and this one is 2 chime. And it's 2 because there's a pitch shifter on it that appears later in synced. Okay, more of a, they call it synth bell, but I would say chime sound, metallic chime. So now if I take, and I also added something very simple, just to have some mood drum with it. So keep in mind that you can also use this to cut stuff. You can say, well, I want to cut here. This is a filter. Low pass and high pass. So you can really quickly do something that, okay, well, I want to keep the space, the bass. I want the bass to be mostly here. So now the pad and the bass are not fighting for the space. They have their own space. And I can even cut this here. And this one, I'm going to say, well, I'm just going to very high. And this one is going to be everybody have their own space. So it's a different way to edit if you keep, you know, nobody's going to be fighting in this space. Now the drum could be fighting for it, but one way to approach it. So this is pretty cool. I like these sounds. It just goes fast, and they sound good. You know, if you, again, the richness. It's just wide, lush pads. Pretty cool. That's it. That's the JX-8P model expansion in Zenology. Right now, Mac PC. I'm guessing some hardware should be supporting this as well. Maybe not right now, but soon, because it's part of the Roland view of the, I would say, the Zen universe. Again, if you want to know more about that, check out the Zen universe of Roland explained here. And if you like what I'm doing, thumb up, subscribe, click on the notification bell. Go see also my Patreon where I offer other things. Check out also my Nu-TRix.com website where you got some free classes, free courses, the possibility of doing one-on-one consultation with me if you want to know, if you want me to help you fix and learn more about your stuff and your gear in your studio. And that's it. So soon to be 10,000 subs. I'm going to have to say already thank you everybody for following me. I like the support. I need it. If I wouldn't have your input and your support, I would never have done this for 3 years already, 3 years. And so that's it. I just hope this is useful for you guys and you get a kick out of watching these, and it helps you get inspired and go further with your music. So that's it, and see you soon. Cheers, everybody.